I am so thrilled that you have come and participated in this community response to the violence in Minnesota, Louisiana, and Texas last week. Thank you. We have a speaking program, and I want to move right along with it. We'd like to welcome Mayor Sean Faircloth to say a few words to you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming here with the events in Dallas being not even 4 weeks after what happened in Orlando. It is a very difficult time for this country, and I hope it is something that we can do to pay homage to so many who have suffered so much. I would give to you a number, 20,000. 20,000 is the number of law enforcement officers who have died in the line of duty in the history of this country. And the vast, vast majority of law enforcement officers are decent, kind, honorable, and brave people who protect us, and blue lives do matter. So let's please give the law enforcement community a round of applause. I know we have some of them here. And it is entirely consistent with that we look at our country as it is. And our country as it is a wonderful and great country. Our Declaration of Independence was written by Thomas Jefferson, who said that all men are created equal. It is also true that Thomas Jefferson was born a slave owner, and that this dark part of our heritage has been with us, and racism has been with us from the very beginning. And so it does not contradict our respect for law enforcement officers to look at the world the way it is and to look at this country the way it is. African Americans, according to statistical data, are 2.5 times as likely to be killed by police officers. And listen to this. Black Americans are more likely, when unarmed, to be shot by police than are white Americans to be shot by police. This kind of information is not information that we can close our eyes to. I'm very honored by the Bangor Police Department and the police chief who I spoke to the other night, because they actively have diversity training and racial sensitivity training, and they intend to continue with that. And I think that our Bangor Police Department is one of the most enlightened police departments in the country. We want to thank them. But the reality of this country cannot be hidden away. We need to look at the dark parts as well and face them directly and think about what compassionate action we can take. And again, Dallas was not even 4 weeks after Orlando, because gay lives matter, because all human lives matter. And I think also we need to look at the reality of the overall context of this situation and face it directly. For example, the Dallas police chief said himself that it was a difficult situation. It was obviously a horrible situation, but it was even more difficult and horrible given that there were approximately 30 people in the crowd who had long rifles and even AR-15s during the time that the police officers were trying to deal with this crisis. That's the reality in America today, and we need, whatever your opinion, to face the reality of this country. Americans are 100 times more likely to be shot by police than British citizens. I don't think this is because our police are bad or evil. I think we face a systemic difference in this country, and we need to face up to the reality that Americans are 6 times more likely to die from gun homicides than people in Australia and Germany, a country that is a major industrialized country. Another set of lives that really matter, and I hope we can bring ourselves together with this sense of compassion, is the lives of women. Domestic violence is a terrible thing we face in this country, and when you look at this country, we find that women are likely to die of homicide 14 times as often as women in Germany, 14 times as often as women in France, 77 times as often as women in Great Britain, all major industrialized nations. I'm glad we started with that song, Blackbird. Blackbird was written in 1968 by Paul McCartney as an homage to the African American civil rights movement. It was one of the pivotal moments in American history. And in 1968, we lost Martin Luther King. And on the day we lost him, Robert Kennedy, who was to die by a gun only a few days later, got up before a crowd, a mostly African American crowd, and he said that we need to work together to tame the savageness of man and make gentle the life of this world. But I have to tell you the reality. The reality is that since Martin Luther King, since we lost Robert Kennedy, more people have died by gun violence in this country since 1968 than all the wars of American soldier deaths combined since 1776, since the American Revolution. You can have whatever opinion you want, but it is important for us, so close after Orlando, so close after Dallas, to face reality and to look at this country the way it is. I love this country, and I believe that black lives do matter, and blue lives matter, and gay lives matter, and women's lives matter. And if we care about those lives, let's do something about this country together. Let us stand up and do something about this country because we love this country and because we are patriotic Americans. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mayor Faircloth.